Good evening, this is Bronson's By Any Means Necessary Fantasy Baseball Talk for Sunday night, moving into Monday, moving into a new week. We are coming in, not quite in the stretch run of the season, but the season is winding down now. It's also time to start thinking about football. Whoa, my phone is not staying sturdy on here. But I got lots to talk about today, mostly about myself, but we do have some baseball stuff to talk about to get you prepared for Monday to start your week off strong. So, I finally worked out the kinks, the issues with my trip that I'm planning, my surprise trip that I don't really want to tell people about, but I'm leaving on Wednesday morning, getting there bright and early Wednesday morning, coming back late Thursday night. So it's gonna be a 2-day trip. I opted out of flying out Tuesday night because it's going to save me money in the long run by not having to pay for another night of lodging there. I'm just going to have to pay for one, as is. But yeah, all that, I thought it was cheap, and I was tracking the prices this whole time. The prices never really changed. They stayed cheap. I was really excited. I was like, this is going to be the cheapest trip that I've had so far. Didn't work out that way. I ended up actually spending more in airfare round trip than I have so far yet. I'm not quite at the $300 mark, but I'm pretty close. I was at like $299, I think. So that's the most expensive. That's even more expensive than going to Alaska. The problem was I was watching these trips, and I would refresh the page to make sure that it was still up-to-date information. Price never changed, but unfortunately, when I went to click on it to purchase it, they told me that flight was no longer available. So even though, for whatever reason, it was still listed on there as an option, but it actually wasn't. So I ended up having to spend $148 round trip for both tickets out there, which isn't terrible still, and I'll be saving money by only having to stay one night and stuff. But I'm excited. I'm definitely jonesing for another vacation. I don't consider my trip to Montana with my parents at the beginning of last month a vacation. It didn't feel like a vacation. It wasn't anything I planned. Didn't really get to do the things I wanted to do, and I got my stuff stolen from me. So it was really more of a stressful thing than anything else. So I'm looking forward to one that I, planned that is for me and me entirely. And I've also got my trip to Arizona coming up at the middle of next month that I already had to push back a month, which means my next trip, which is after Arizona, was planning to be Minnesota at the end of August. Probably gonna have to push that into September, which is really a big bummer for me because I was hoping to get to Minnesota for Vikings training camp, catch a preseason game because tickets are significantly cheaper. But now it looks like I'm gonna have to be out there after the season starts. Whether or not I'm gonna go to a football game while I'm there is a different story now because it's gonna be a lot more expensive. But that's another problem for another day. Arizona also, I will be seeing my aunt and my cousin. They offered to let me stay there at least one night, so that'll also save me some money on lodging there as well. So things are looking up I'm getting back out there to scratch my travel itch. It was also an early payday for me on Friday. Usually my payday is technically supposed to be Tuesday, but I signed up for this thing through my debit card that allows me to get paid early, which just started on the last pay period, and it was Monday. So I was kind of expecting my check to come on Monday again, but it came on Friday, which was really cool. But I've already kind of spent a lot of it. But I have put some aside for rent and my car payment. So I'm gonna take care of my responsibilities. It's just I'm not gonna have a whole lot of money left after traveling after my trip for other things like gas and food. But luckily I do have a second job that pays me weekly, so I will always have that money to fall back on should I need to use it. I'm not super worried. It just it's a little stressful and a little anxiety ridden when you are running on lines. You never know what kind of emergency can pop up, especially when you have bad luck like me. And lastly, last little bit about myself before I get into the sports. I finished Project Hail Mary, and I gotta say, like, I didn't hate the book. It was very exciting. I just love space. I think it's cool. I think all the like kind of like just different theories that people have about space, I find it fascinating. But it definitely was not as good as The Martian. The Martian it was a classic book. I still recommend Project Hail Mary, and I really hope it gets turned into a movie or a TV show. I really want to see his I'm sure it will. I'm sure the rights have already been bought for it, honestly, but and I'm excited, really excited for that. I want to see his idea put on the big screen or in some capacity. I actually think I would enjoy it as a movie or TV show more than I did as a book, and I know that's kind of blasphemous to say, but I think in this case, for those of you who've read it, you'll understand. And those of you who haven't read it, I just think it's much more built. It was written more to be a movie than a book, I think. And I watched, not last night, I'm going to the movies tonight after I film this, but on Friday night, I went and watched Joe Bell, which is a movie that I really hadn't heard about until a couple weeks ago, and I hadn't even heard of this guy. Apparently this guy went on a walk across the country. Started right here in Oregon, Eastern Oregon, LeGrand, which is, many of us don't really count as Oregon. Eastern Oregon and Western Oregon kind of have a little rivalry going on politically and just philosophically, but never heard of the guy. Mark Wahlberg stars in it, and he did a good job. I think they needed a big name to help sell the movie, and so Mark Wahlberg signing on really helped him. He looked nothing like the actual guy, I hadn't heard of this story, heard of this guy, but it's a movie worth seeing if you want to have you want to watch something with some meaning instead of just shoot 'em ups or action or stuff like that, which is usually the typical summer blockbuster. And I don't think this movie's going to be a blockbuster by any means. It's not going to win. It's not going to be the number one movie in America for this opening weekend, but it wasn't great. It wasn't bad though. It wasn't great, but also wasn't bad. It's kind of right in the middle. Let's get to the baseball now, right? And it's in a trade to update you on. Adam Frazier has been traded from the Pirates to the Padres. How this will affect his fantasy stock, I think it can only kind of go down. Adam Frazier's in the midst of a career year. Never really has played this well before. Probably won't ever play as well again. Who knows if he'll be an everyday player in San Diego because the infield is kind of crowded. So unless they plan on moving him to the outfield to replace Will Myers, maybe, because Will Myers is kind of struggling and isn't the greatest defensive player out in the outfield anyways. We'll see. I don't think he's going to take playing time from Trent Grisham or who's their other outfielder? Padres' other outfielder. I don't even remember who their other outfielder is, so maybe he's going to take that spot. But we'll see. I don't think he's going to be moving Cronenworth off second or Tatis off short or Machado off third. Well, probably not Hosmer off first either, so really he's going to have to play in the outfield, I think. And so we'll see. I don't think it'll affect his stock much, but it could potentially drive it down a little bit. Some injuries to update you on. Trevor Rogers and the Marlins, who was supposed to start today, hit this disabled list instead. Kind of a blow to us who were hoping for, his numbers to get us over the hump today. Mookie Betts finally hit the disabled list after being out a week, day to day. Hopefully they retroactively did that to like last week, so he's eligible to come back in a few days. I don't know. I haven't really read into it yet. I just know that he hit the disabled list today. And Eloy Jimenez, surprisingly, coming back from the disabled list tomorrow for the White Sox. So if those of you who have been holding him all season long, your patience will finally be rewarded. Moving into the steaming tier, steaming hot hitters. I kind of went with outfielders today as a theme because we need to replace Mookie Betts, right? So 4 outfielders for you. Pavement Smith, the Diamondbacks rookie, has certifiably busted out of his slump. He's hitting really well right now. Time to get him back on our rosters. He also can help us at first base. Austin Hayes, the young outfielder for the Orioles, modestly producing pretty well right now. He's another name to consider. Tyrone Taylor, for those of you in deeper leagues who are looking for a guy who's owned in less than 2% of leagues, Tyrone Taylor of the Brewers is really coming on right now. And Harold Castro of the Tigers, not a whole lot of productivity there, but I just want you to be aware that he is eligible at every single position except for catcher and pitcher. So a guy like that can help you. And not the greatest day for streaming tomorrow, as there's not very many games, but I do have a couple of names for you. Joe Ross is coming back to start for the Nationals at Philadelphia. So, he may not go super deep into the game, but I think he's shown this year that when healthy, he's a starter worth having on your team. And Kyle Muller, the young rookie of the Braves at the Mets, in a 7-inning game, which means that he should be able to, if the Braves can get a lead, Kyle Muller should be able to go deep enough into the game to qualify for the win and not have a bullpen. It's less likely that the bullpen will blow it for him when there's 2 less innings. This also means that he'll face the Mets hitters less. He may not see them all a third time through the order should he go that deep into the game. So all these factors kind of. Also the fact that why am I saying Quest? Citi Field. It's not Quest. It's not Shea Stadium anymore. Citi Field is a pitcher-friendly environment, and Kyle Muller's strikeout rate is phenomenal so far in his young career. All these factors suggest that Kyle Muller is a fantastic streamer for you on Monday, and maybe a guy you could hold even for any guys who are streamers on Monday, or guys you probably should hold for the week, because they're going to give you a second start during the upcoming weekend afterwards. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a blessed day. Good luck in your matchups. Good luck in your daily lives. Please try to live your life in the time that you have to live it as much as you can, because we spend a third of our day sleeping. Ideally, if those who get 8 hours of sleep. And we spend even more time, more than a third of our day, either working or commuting to and from work. It leaves us very little time in our day, less than a third of our day, to really live, to do things we want to do, the things that make us happy. So in that time that you have, that you're not committed to work or you're not committed to sleep, live. All right. That's all I have to say. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Peace, love, and nacho fries.